Very good evening to all our distinguished guests and supporters. Thank you so much for coming on time, and thank you so much for supporting DAP Selangor at our fundraising dinner for Saudara Lim Guan Eng. We want to welcome also the Chief Minister of Penang, Saudara Lim Guan Eng, who has made his way into the hall. And of course, we also want to acknowledge Tony Phua, our State Chairman, who is also here with us. On behalf of DAP Selangor, I will be giving the welcoming speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why are we here tonight? The backdrop says we are here for support, sympathy, and solidarity with Lim Guan Eng. Is there a lack of support for Lim Guan Eng? We are not here because there's a lack of support for Lim Guan Eng. In fact, on the day that he was brought to court to be charged, our party started receiving calls and requests from supporters who wanted to contribute towards the bail money of 1 million ringgit. Now, we need to know that it is not about Lim Guan Eng. RM 1 million collected in 21 hours. People felt a great sense of injustice, and they felt they needed to be part of this effort to help Lim Guan Eng. In fact, a lot of the calls I received in Subang Jaya, the Subang Jaya residents told me that they felt it was something very personal against Guan Eng, and they felt offended, especially those people from Penang who are living in Subang Jaya. They say they take this seriously. They felt very offended that they would do this to their chief minister. You know, every 1 hour in that 21 hours, at least 51,000 ringgit was poured in, 10 ringgit per person. That is incredible. We have never seen anything like this before. And you know that we are a very honest party. When we received 1 million, we could have kept quiet about it and allowed the donation to continue. But when we collected 1,009,000 ringgit, immediately the state chairman of Penang, Chow Kong Yeoh, did a press conference and announced that we have collected enough. Still, the donations kept coming in, and the requests kept coming, and they say, what can we do in Selangor? What can we do in Selangor? And that's why DAP Selangor decided to organize tonight's dinner, so that you can come and be part of this effort. Now, Lim Guan Eng is a mere target of Barisan Nasional. Barisan Nasional, we all know, are well known for corruption, well known for stealing from people, and they are still all right. Malaysian Official 1, which I'm sure a lot of our speakers will be talking about him later, people see a great sense of injustice. The mockery is really staring at your face. And here we have the ruling government pursuing what we call a clean chief minister. The crime that UMNO sees, or the crime that Barisan Nasional sees, is that they find it hard to believe that a chief minister would take a bank loan to buy an old house. Now let me repeat this. The crime that they cannot understand is this: how can a chief minister buy an old house and yet have to take a bank loan? And they cannot believe that you can actually buy a cheap house. And so they have never encountered this before, and they want to know who has benefited. Who has benefited in this transaction? Surely someone would have benefited. They just cannot believe that this is the kind of transaction that would involve a chief minister. And so you are here tonight to support an end to this injustice. Now the second one, sympathy. Does Lim Guan Eng need sympathy? Lim Guan Eng has never asked for sympathy. In fact, I think Lim Guan Eng is ready to go to jail, unfortunately. He has been to jail before, and if he was really looking for sympathy, I think he would have struck a deal with the ruling government, and we have seen that many times in the past with other leaders. But today we are not here to sympathize with Lim Guan Eng alone. We are here because we are here to sympathize with Malaysians in general. I remember in school, we used to be fed with this Wawasan 2020. We were told as a school student that when 2020 comes, everything will be well in this country. We would be a developed nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 4 years away from 2020 and we have never seen greater shame than now when the entire world is talking about the corruption involving 1MDB. Here we are in Malaysia facing great injustice, facing great corruption, and yet everybody pretends as though nothing has happened. You know, this government that is being talked about by other nations has just won handsomely in the Sarawak state elections and even won 2 by-elections. So this is the thing that we are facing. Such a corrupt regime is still enjoying the support of people in this nation. And so we are here because we sympathize with the state of our nation, where we are today. We are so far away from achieving 2020. Now, solidarity. I think this is what we are here for. What Lim Guan Eng needs to know, that in the event they send him to prison, that the cause that he champions for a clean government, that the cause that he champions, for a better Malaysia will continue, because his supporters, the followers, will continue this cause. Being here in action, not just in words or in spirit, I think is what we want to show Guan Eng, that we stand in solidarity, not just with one man, not just with the Lim family, but with the entire party. I just want to end today with something I read in this book called Heart to Heart. It's a heart-to-heart interview that Lim Guan Eng did with this author from Singapore. And I've been in the DAP for 9 years now, and I've never read something like this, and I've never heard from him. And so I just want to share this heart-to-heart interview with you. Lim Guan Eng was not in prison once, but he was in prison twice. Once in 1987 and another in 1998. Today, under his leadership, Penang today ranks among the top in the investment charts in Malaysia, attracting 40 billion from 2008 to 2013 as compared to a similar 6-year period of 21 billion from 2002 to 2007. Consequently, the public debt in Penang has decreased by 95%. Public debt in Penang decreased by 95% from 630 million to 30 million in 2011. You see a reduction of 600 million ringgit, ladies and gentlemen. Penang is also one of the fastest economic growth states in Malaysia. He also championed the concept of competency, accountability, and transparency to propel the state government to achieve efficient, responsible, and clean governance. Now, in one of these interviews, they asked him what kept Lim Guan Eng going when he was in prison. And this is what Guan Eng said: "My family's love kept me going. My family's love helped me a lot. They stayed with me and continued to encourage me. Even though my daughter told me I was stupid, she told me to hang on so that I could come back safely so that our family could be together. My father was more hurt." My father means Lim Kwit Siang. "My father was more hurt than anyone else. Which father wants to send his son to prison? He felt responsible, as if he had sent his son to prison. But he did because of a principle he had to uphold. I think he wished 1,000 times that he could take my place. I would feel the same way if it was my son. I would suffer much more than he would. So did my dad. He suffered tremendously. He never said a word, but he did. I always tell myself this: it is always the darkest night that is just before dawn. Things will get worse before they get better. This is how I console and comfort myself." Now, this part is what I want to focus on. They asked Lim Guan Eng, how do you keep your focus? And how do you take that focus and that attribute or that attitude in helping you govern Penang. And this is what Lim Guan Eng said. Actually, we have not done anything special in Penang. We just followed international norms. We do what is right. We don't steal people's money. Stick to the rules you have set. I kept on plugging the message again and again. When I travel to Singapore, I travel on economy class. People ask me, why don't you take business class? Why fly economy? How much money can you save? I agree with you, I can't save much money, but I want to send a strong message to my civil servants. I want to cut costs. If I can save, you can also save. If I can take economy, you better follow me by cutting costs. It's not that I want to show off. That's the message I want to send. If we can save, we save. You are the custodian of people's funds. You must uphold the sacred trust. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the very chief minister that the BN government is targeting to send into prison. This person who wants to save the people's money has helped to decrease Penang's debt by 600 million ringgit. And yet, they want to make a mockery out of him, to charge him over a bungalow that costs 2 million because they say it's too cheap, it's way too cheap, and they cannot believe it. And so it means a lot to the DAP, not just DAP Selangor, but DAP as a whole, for your support to be here tonight. It's not about the food, it's not about Lim Guan Eng alone, but really to encourage the rest of us in the DAP to keep going, and that, you know, even though days are really bad now in Malaysia, just now I was talking to some of the supporters, they say, will we ever see an end to this corruption in Malaysia? The answer is we don't know when it will snap, but we continue to push, and we continue to push because I believe there will be light at the tunnel. There will be light. One day we will be delivered from this corruption. And you know, for the leaders who are frontline, those who are being charged, those who have 8 to 9 lawsuits, it means a lot to them that you continue to support them. You know, some Facebook messages, some tweets can really encourage them. They read all these messages. I hope that you will continue to give you our support. And together with the people, I believe that we will not just save Penang and Selangor. Hopefully we will take more seats, more states, and we will gain more grounds in the next general election. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your dinner tonight. Thank you.